Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus NXT. Easy as 1, 2, 3. This is from May 4th. Be with you 2021. Another good NXT. I would say the main event featuring the Women of the Way against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart rivaled the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match as far as the best women's stuff that we've seen this year, and that's high praise. I would also say that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair was very good as well, but those two matches are really standing out, really outstanding. A lot of good stuff got accomplished on this show. I'm glad they've kept up the Cameron Grimes $1 million man relationship. It's just a great way to use a veteran. I'm really adoring the NXT show. It is easily my favorite of the three brands for WWE. SmackDown, of course, being second, and Raw being so far behind the other two that it's laughably bad. But let's just jump into this, right? We get a video package to hype various storylines. And the fact that they can do that in quick, succinct order shows how efficient NXT really is. We're from the Performance Center, right? Vic Joseph welcomes us, and Wade Barrett and Beth Phoenix are there as well. I thought Wade Barrett was particularly good on commentary tonight. This is becoming this might be my favorite team. It's running neck and neck with SmackDown, which is high praise indeed. We open up with a match. Falls count anywhere to boot. They're definitely taking a page out of the AEW playbook. NXT tends to run hot early, and then they bookend you with really great stuff, and then they advance a bunch of things along the way in the middle. It's definitely a solid way to do your program. Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott. I actually didn't know who was going to win this match, which was very exciting. We get a commercial break in the middle of it, but it's picture in picture. And they actually did a big spot during the picture, the split screen, which is unusual for anybody to do that, but they did a big spot. At the end of the day, Isaiah Swerve Scott wins this thing, and honestly, they're going to get more mileage out of Isaiah Swerve Scott moving into something with somebody else, so it made sense that he got the win. I wouldn't have been mad if Leon Ruff got it either. He certainly advanced himself greatly in the course of this feud. Really fantastic. We're going to replays. And then Francis is a former NFL player who's one of the hosts of the WWE's Most Wanted Treasures show. By the way, if you have not watched that thing, watch that fucking thing. The Most Wanted Treasures is really great programming, right? He's also been featured, Francis that is, in recent studio vignettes with Swerve. So Swerve is celebrating on the stage with Francis and Shanti Adonis and Brianna Brandy, who's been featured in recent Swerve vignettes as well. So they've kind of put them together as a unit. I think that's really great. I think they really kickstarted it off right by having Isaiah win this feud. Just really smart booking, really solid stuff. Just nothing to complain about, which, for me is pretty unusual. Yep. We see Finn Balor arriving to the building, and then we go to commercial. I'm strangely better with the somebody big arriving to the building segueing into a commercial than I am somebody walking backstage. And NXT has gotten away from the walking backstage thing, which I love. Back from the break, Austin Theory is walking backstage. Luckily, we're not segueing into a commercial with Johnny Gargano, who's the NXT North American champion. They walk into William Regal's office, who's there with Scarlett. Gargano rants about he has business with Regal to discuss later, but Regal never has time for him. Wah, wah, wah. Gargano refers himself as the real champion of NXT. That's nice foreshadowing with what happens later. I like that. Man, I like that. Yeah. Gargano walks off. Theory's staring at Scarlett, commenting on how big they are and if they're real, but he's talking about her fingernails. Fucking stupid as hell, and pretty hilarious. And with what they're going to get into later on, it all makes sense. Asher Hale against Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes basically wins, and he's super, super thrilled about that. Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with Kaden Carter and Casey. They're no longer worried about Zia Lee, but they're going to be watching the street fight closely as they want the NXT Women's Tag titles. See, everybody says what they want, and it's great. Frankie Monet walks up and insults them, but says she believes in them. She smiles and walks away with her dog. Kaden wants to go after her, but Casey stops her. Brewing up some stuff. I like they're taking their time with Frankie Monet. I like it. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Cameron Grimes is celebrating in the back. Everrise joins him, and they want to go to VIP at the club with him, but he's off by himself to the VIP room. Screw them. What an ass. Grizzled Young Veterans against Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. This would have been the best match on the show if not for that main event. It was fan-fucking-tastic. And the finish of Thatcher decking one of them with a shoe, decking Gibson, I believe, with the shoe, and then putting on the armbar to win. Really powerful stuff. Big win for Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. That's a big move forward. I would say unofficially, if anybody watches NXT on a regular, that kind of moves you to number 1 contender status, which is certainly interesting. After the match, it's revealed that Thatcher used Wade Barrett's shoe. Ciampa is now holding the shoe. Gargano and Austin Theory are backstage ranting about William Regal again. Wah. Gargano says Theory is going to bust Regal's door down, but Regal walks up. What's going on, guys? Gargano's upset about Bronson Reed getting another North American title shot, but Regal's not going to cancel that match. And he also informs Theory, because of what happened earlier, Scarlett put him in a non-title match against Karrion Kross next week because of his inappropriate things. It all makes sense. It all works great. Gargano storms off, and a worried Theory follows. They're really putting over Karrion Kross, as they should. Back from the break, we see Isaiah Swerve Scott, we see Francis, we see Ashanti and Brianna Brandy walking backstage. Swerve stops and tells the camera that he beat Leon Ruff tonight, and that's exactly what he said he was going to do. And he walks off with the entourage. Okay, we firmly established them now. If this was Raw, we would see them 2 more times, but this is NXT, which does things in a logical fashion. So they establish something, reinforce it, and then let it go. Let it go. We get a video package on 2 women's division newcomers, Soray and Zeta Ramir, and they're going to go up against each other. Oh, that excites me. I love it. Here comes Karrion Kross, who's the champion with Scarlett. They do their entrance to do all their thing. They talk about the matches that they're going to have next week. Out comes Kyle O'Reilly doing his Orange Cassidy shtick. I'm still jury's out on the new O'Reilly, but I love him, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It is what it is. O'Reilly basically wants a match with Cross, so let's give everybody, and then the music interrupts, and out comes Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne doesn't care about who wants to see this match, and he doesn't care about the new Kyle O'Reilly. He doesn't care about Cross. Dunne declares himself the baddest man in NXT. He challenges Cross and O'Reilly to prove him wrong. He stares them down, but here comes Finn Balor. Finn Balor talks about his relationship with everybody. Cross and Balor continue to brawl. After he sends Cross into Kyle O'Reilly. So this big brawl brouhaha happens. It's nuts. Gargano and Theory try to attack Cross from behind, but he fights them off. Cross launches Theory with that doof, but Gargano then super kicks him. He grabs Gargano by the throat. Theory makes the save. So they're definitely taking advantage of their numbers advantage. Gargano charges with a belt shot to the face of Cross. Gargano and Theory get over a little bit on Karrion Kross. Good segment all around. A lot got done. A lot got moved around. Back from the break, Mackenzie tries to get comments from Austin Theory and Gargano, but they're rushing to get to their car. She asks why they're not staying for the street fight since the 2 women of the way are in it. Says, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell can handle it. They're going to get the post-match celebration set up. They drive away. They're scared, bro. So now we get Zeta Ramir against Saray. This show is just cooking, man. And this match is very good. The right person wins, who's Saray, with a variety of suplexes. Good stuff. We see Imperium's Marcel. We see Alexander, Fabian, and they're talking to Walter on a video call. So there's a little tension there amongst the members. That's what we're getting across. We get a vignette for the Diamond Mine, the MMA-themed promo that aired last week. All right, look at how we're building things up for the future at NXT. I love it. Back from the break, we see Saray shaking hands with Zeta in the back, thanking her for the match. Toni Storm appears and goes to attack Ramir, but Zoe Stark shows up and stops her. They have words and Storm walks away. Stark and Saray check on Ramir now. Wow. LA Knight against Jake Atlas. This is kind of a foregone conclusion match. Atlas is an up-and-comer, but LA Knight they're trying to establish, and sure enough, he wins. Nothing special there, but it's what you needed, right? Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are backstage talking about tonight's main event. Dexter Lumis, though, is watching from the other side of the door with flowers in hand. Candice sees him and closes the blinds before Indy sees him and says they don't need distraction by boys tonight. They get hyped for this street fight. I like this segment. I like it a lot. Hopefully we didn't, I put in my notes, hopefully we don't get Dexter Lumis interfering, and we did not, which I thought was really great. Back from the break, Toni Storm is mad and cutting a promo on Zoe Stark. Storm says she brought Stark into this business, and when she's ready, she's going to take her right back out. Ooh, child. Go back to the ring, and Legado del Fantasma is out. It is all hands on deck tonight. Fans boo them. They talk about all of their stuff that they've got going on. They taunt MSK. And then Kushida interrupts from the big screen. They're going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match for the title next week. Look how we're setting up next week's show. I just love what NXT is doing right now. I'm feeling it. It's probably going to be the best book show of the week, unless Dynamite, with their big blood and guts thing, can outdo them tonight. That's going to be exciting for me to see. We got Mercedes Martinez and NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez remotely. How is Gonzalez planning on taking care of Mercedes next week? And she says how she respects Mercedes, but she's got pure power on her side. Mercedes interrupts, and she says she's hungry, and basically they're hyping up next Tuesday's title match. I'm here for it. Boy, it's a big show for NXT next week from the sounds of it. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart are in the back talking about the main event. They reach Shotzi's tank, and Frankie Monet's dog is sitting on it. Shotzi goes on to how cute the dog is, lets her run away. Ember brings something to Shotzi's attention that is not cool. Frankie's dog left them a smelly surprise in the seat of the tank. Shotzi says, well, we're not going to take the tank to the ring tonight. Oh, I like this sort of dropping this notion that something is a little off with them, right? I like it. Cameron Grimes is on a strip. The long and short of it is $1 Million Man shows up and he's bought out the whole club, not just the VIP section, does his laugh. Everybody's got a price. Cameron Grimes pitches a fit. Good little comedy bit. Sometimes they're hit and miss with these comedy bits, but tonight they're on point and I think really, really strong. They established that indeed we're going to have Kushida against Santos Escobar, 2 out of 3 falls match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Great stuff. The street fight, what can I say for the NXT Women's Tag Titles? The Way win in a fantastic match. What can I say besides go fucking see it? And NXT did themselves proud, and they're segueing into a great... I would imagine the ratings for this show are going to be very good for NXT, and next week they'll be even better because they did such a good job of setting things up. This has been Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling.